in LA. This David and Celeste situation is really dire. And we just got some bombshell new information that I think changes this entire case. And honestly, I'll be real with y'all. If this case isn't solved within 30 days, if the perpetrators, whether it's David or whoever committed the murder of Celeste, if it's not solved within 30 days, I fear it will never be solved. And honestly, the worst part about all of this too is knowing deep down inside that if Celeste was murdered anywhere else other than Los Angeles, her murder would have been solved. Her perpetrator would have been in jail.
For sure.
A trial would have been starting by now.
For sure.
But because she was murdered in LA, they're absolute nincompoops, right? They're idiots. LAPD is lazy. They don't solve
Chicago too. I ain't gonna lie. Chicago too. She would have killed a Chicago boy. They ass would have found out Nathaniel. I'm telling you.
There's nothing funny about this situation. But this new bombshell update from LAPD would really make you chuckle in a sinister and sad way. LAPD just released a bombshell, an update on the case, okay?
No.
After discovering Celeste dismembered, right? Limbs tore apart from her body.
Damn, bro.
Wrapped up in a trash bag in a trunk of a Tesla.
That's so sad. Too. Every time I hear
finally
it, bro.
said, okay.
That's so sad.
Right?
Bro.
After months of investigating this, we are suspecting that this was a homicide. Excuse me.
No
If you've been following this case, you know that LAPD has literally refused to...
Now listen, I'm going to be honest with y'all. I am higher than 2 kites right now. I could not achieve this without my grabber leaf, okay? Now, I know it's a lot of my fellow thoinkers out there that enjoy to indulge in the thoink like yours truly, Mac Mula. If you smoking out of anything and it's not if it's not grabber leaf, you're tripping. I don't give a fuck what else it say on the packaging. If it does not say grabber leaf, you lost your rabbit ass mind for smoking that shit. Putting that shit to your lips should be illegal.
Considered as a homicide.
They
have investigated every other angle other than a homicide and a murder, and you ask yourself why. Like,
no, for real,
idiots, idiots, bro. They even tried to get off that this could have been a drug overdose.
They tried.
The people around her just
sound stupid as hell, don't it?
And try to conceal her body.
Yeah. She had a drug overdose, so I won't cut her body up because if I'm scared of getting locked up for murder, why the fuck would I cut this little girl body up if she died from a drug overdose? When I could call the police, they could come get her, and they could see that she died from a drug overdose. Why the fuck would I cut her body up so that they can now think that she was murdered? If that was true, is that not stupid?
Stop it. Get some help.
Look at Flacco's face. This is everybody's face when they heard that.
Like, what? Where would that line of logic lead? This kid had an overdose in the home that she shared with us. We feel terrified that maybe we could get blamed for contributing to the delinquency of a minor. At the very least, we get condemned socially. At the very most, we get a delinquency to a minor charge and probably do about 1 or 2 years in prison.
Right.
Cool. Now, they are faced with that reality. And we believe that they would trade that 1 or 2 years of social, like, condemning with, hey, let's just take the body, dismember the body, chop it up a little bit, right? Whip the limbs from her torso, put her in a trash bag, throw her in the back of not back, because the trunk of a Tesla is at the front. Throw her in the trunk of a Tesla.
Throw her in the trunk of a Tesla and then leave her outside of our crib. Like, motherfucker, man.
And then what? Her family would never ask about her. 20, 30 years go by, she's dead. The family would never wonder where she is. The family would just be perfectly okay with never hearing from their daughter again. You must have, at some point, somebody would have came looking for her.
Right.
Somebody.
For sure.
And if it was a drug overdose and you chop up the limbs and wait, let's say a year or two, and the body fully decomposed, or
that's how long it takes.
You guys like go down the other route, which is like y'all done add like her to a fire, y'all done burn her and cremate her.
Yeah.
Now there is no trace of what the cause of death is. All they know is one of you guys, right, dismembered his body and burned it and cremated it.
Right.
And now you're looking at a murder investigation.
Right.
Why would anybody choose that reality over?
I don't know.
What it would have been if it was a drug overdose, which is delinquency of a minor, social condemning, but for the most part, you're not spending the rest of your life in jail.
You're
Right.
saying that there is another suspect other than David
Yep.
who the LAPD has its sights set on with
Yep.
respect to what happened to Celeste before, during, and after her death.
Sound
correct?
about right. Sound about right.
Welcome to the two.
'Cause a lot of people, even the private investigator has said that he thinks that David had help or whoever killed her or whatever. That it wasn't one person, basically.
Men podcast. Mark, the singer David is in big trouble. We now know, and I can give you this 100%. Although the medical
that?
examiner
Every time I
has
see
not
him, he
yet
look like a
determined
weirdo,
cause
bro.
of death, nor has the toxicology report been given over to the LAPD. The LAPD robbery homicide unit is viewing the death of Celeste Rivas as a homicide, and David is a suspect, and he is a
David is not the only suspect.
and David is not the only suspect. But what I am told is that at least one other suspect, it's not necessarily in connection to the murder, it's in connection to dismembering
Cutting up
the
the body, yeah.
And I think this all has to do with a mysterious trip.
Hold on, y'all. This is my clothing brand. I need y'all to go support your boy, okay? And supporting your boy with some pretty cheap clothing, all right? And you're going to be fly and fresh as hell, man, all right? Link in the description. Theari.us. Go shop.
To Santa Barbara
Yep.
in the middle of the night
do too.
last spring.
I think
and
that
I got
too.
details. What do you got?
David had a 9-month head start. The private investigator said Celeste was murdered since February.
Right.
February. 9 months
She
to
ain't get
cover
caught
all
till
tracks as a
September.
multi-millionaire. Excuse me? Bruh, there's probably not a shred of evidence left, man. 9 months to cover
Yeah.
all tracks to...
That's why
to-
I don't really need nobody else to convince me that he killed her. I personally think he definitely did it, or he know who did it, or he had it done. So I don't really need no convincing when it comes to that. Only thing I'm scared of at this point in time is I'm scared of it not being enough evidence to actually nail him and get him locked up for the rest of his life. You feel me? Like, that's what I'm scared of. More than anything else, like, I'm just scared of that shit. Like, but I mean, honestly though, God saw all that shit, so it ain't really nothing he could do. For
Think
real.
about
I
what
ain't gonna lie
happened.
to you.
Go over what you did. Recover what you did. Cover what you... Oh, no. It's over with, bro. All right, the only way they would ever find out exactly what happened is if one of these weirdo anime-watching, obsessed boy kids who's involved in this murder as well, if they snitch.
Right. I hope
But
somebody
the
snitched.
police is able to get snitches to tell because they got something going on.
Right.
Hey, bruh, we'll let you get off on this other shooting you did if you tell us what happened right here and cooperate against David.
Yeah.
But these ain't street dudes, bruh. They don't got an array of crimes for you to get them on. No, these is weirdo anime watching
Yeah.
weirdos.
Right.
They don't got nothing. And they hold it down more than the street dudes. Look, a group of street dudes would have had an informant by now,
For
letting
sure.
them know exactly what happened.
For sure.
These kids is holding it down and they ain't telling, because of course there's multiple people involved.
Right.
Of course
It gotta
they brought the body to an isolated desert to dismember it, rip the limbs apart from the torso, and put it in the trash bag. And I believe the only reason why they even brought it back to that house, because when they raided that house, what they found chemicals that was used to like disintegrate a body.
Oh, I didn't know that. But I remember the private investigator said, he didn't say what they found at the time. This was like weeks ago. But he said that the police found shit in his house that is consistent with some, he said, very sadistic and very like, what word did he use, bro? Just very like weirdo ways. It was basically saying that they found some shit that could have been used to further get rid of her body. You know what I'm saying? So I'm guessing Flacco saying it was chemicals that could have been used to disintegrate and like, you know what I'm saying? Like some acid or some type Jeffrey Dahmer type shit.
The plan was bring that body back, use those chemicals at a large scale to remove all evidence
Right.
this body even existed.
Right.
Okay, so not only that, but you know how we've almost got whiplash on this story from, I think you were the one who had said that all of your sources had dried up like very, very early on this, and you were
Not
actually quite
anymore.
surprised.
Not
Right.
anymore.
And the reason for that, by the way, my surmise, wild speculation, they not only got the records that support what you were saying is 100%, that he took a trip to Santa Barbara County,
in
but
spring.
they now also, and you may have reported this. I'm not in the weeds on the TMZ feed, but they've got his social media and have tied up social media with some of the trips, and they've got cell phone records that they have poured over, and they have triangulated this to the point where it's almost it's eerie. I saw this 10 years ago on another murder case that I had, but when it was in the infancy stages, they've got a chart at LAPD that you would not believe. They've got this thing down to a timeline that's almost by the minutes, triangulated to the location, if you can believe that. And it's not just one source. When I say triangulated, it's media, social media, cell phone, Tesla, other, and all I'll say is other kind of GPS tracking devices, if you will. And it's really, I used to joke, or my father used to joke, LAPD is lost and presumed destroyed. They actually have elevated their game, and this is quite a feat of investigation so far.
That's fascinating. So let me tell you what we know, because it aligns with what you just said, that in the spring, David took a trip to a very remote area of Santa Barbara County in the middle of the night and spent several hours there.
So, this random weirdo singer is proven to have been dating this little girl since she was 11 years old. We seen them on videos together. He got songs about the girl, all type of shit, okay? Then they find the girl's body cut up in front of his Tesla, in front of his house. Then we find out that he took a random trip to a random wilderness fucking remote part of Santa Barbara, hour, 2 hours away, stayed there for several hours, got back in the car, and drove home. And you want me to believe that somebody else killed this little girl? Man, if y'all don't lock this nigga ass up, I hope he get locked up. I hope they do him the worst way in prison, because they need to, folks.
We have also been told, yes, there is another suspect, but the suspect is somebody they believe helped him dismember the body, because what we were told by multiple sources is they believe that more than one person dismembered the body. Now, I don't think they can conclude that just by looking at it. I mean, look, Jeffrey Dahmer dismembered a body completely, and he did it alone.
Oh, damn.
So there's some reason they're saying he had help.
There's footage, as we already learned before, of somebody driving the Tesla back to the house and parked it. Now, the body was in the trunk when he drove that Tesla back to the crib. Police was able to positively identify and ID the person, but it's unclear whether or not they are a suspect as well. So, of course, multiple people were involved. You think a multimillionaire with a bunch of flunkies around you?
It was multiple people involved in the fact that he was dating this little girl. They said his brother was helping sneak her places. You not going to have this little girl around that you dating and everybody around you don't know. We've already heard plenty of people that was around him come out and say that, yeah, we knew this was going on. You feel me? So, I for sure, I believe that one of them weird ass little boys or little girls that he was hanging out with helped him do whatever. You feel me? I believe that shit wholeheartedly.
Think he's gonna do his own bidding? Absolutely not, at all. No. And this is just not your average group of kids. No, these are, again, I say kids very loosely, because David is like 22, 23 years old. So these are adults, but these are not a group of people who are just normal people. No, these are people who are obsessive when it comes to gore. In that Discord, they were sharing gore videos of folks being murdered and killed. So people who are that obsessive with gore, of course they know how to discard a body. Of course they have watched
These
endless
some
true
weird ass
crime and know
people,
how to
bro.
cover their tracks.
These some weird
I
ass
knew
people,
for
bro.
a fact after this new report that we were dealing with somebody who may have did this before.
Right.
Right?
Shit.
I don't think this is their first time. Because
Why
when
would you,
TMZ
though?
and the police dropped a new update earlier today that the body was apparently frozen. Like, the manner in which the body was frozen wasn't just a normal man. No, it was like a permafrost method.
What the fuck?
The body was frozen, right? It's some type of like permafrost method. And because it was frozen in that method, the cause of death, they no longer know. They can't get the cause of death because it was frozen in a manner in which will conceal the cause of death.
What the hell?
Stop it.
Oh shit!
Get some help.
Barely.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
I don't even know what the fuck he said. Cryo. That means he probably has some Sub-Zero type shit. Some deep freezer shit. Man, this is crazy, bro.
So hence, them trying to figure out, was this a homicide?
Right.
Was this a strangulation? Was this a drug overdose? They can no longer discover it.
Damn.
Even creating more legal challenges now
Right.
when it comes to prosecuting people involved.
Right.
Whoever did this had a lengthy experience in doing this, and they've done it before. Because the average person ain't thinking about this. Hey, yo, if you permafrost the body, it will conceal the
But you gotta think, these are some weird ass fucking people, bro. These are some weird ass, goddamn it, just overly weird kids that grown people that play with anime toys and like little girls and like to watch gore. They used to send each other gore videos in the Discord, bro. We have a real Discord of David saying that he loves gore more than he loves the freaky videos that you watch and touch yourself to. He liked gore more than that. That, to me, that sounds like he touched himself to people getting cut up and killed and shit. And that is some different type of, listen, you need to take your motherfucking ass to a mental asylum. It's something wrong with you. Okay?
The cause of death. Oh, huh? Bro, I'm terrified, man.
On photo.
Because there's somebody out there, bro, who got a lust for blood.
Yeah.
Some major developments in the Celeste
some weird
Rivas
shit.
death. TMZ has learned that her body had been frozen. And when it was found, it was still partially frozen in the back of David's car.
Damn.
And it was in such bad condition. So
it was still partially frozen. So now my next question is, why did it get unfrozen? You know, how long was it frozen for? It had to have been frozen for a long time. And if, I don't know, my main question in my head is like, okay, if you unalive this person and you cut this person's body up and you had this person's body frozen, I guess they had it frozen to probably get rid of evidence and to keep the body from like decomposing. You know, I think if you freeze a body at a certain temperature, it doesn't decompose. You know what I'm saying? So, like, why would you unfreeze the body, put it in a bag, and bring it to the house? What was the plan? What was the next steps that they was finna take? You feel me?
That we are told the medical examiner may never be able to establish the cause of death. So here's what we know.
Damn.
When the body was found, it was in terrible condition. It had been decapitated. The torso was intact.
Head off.
The limbs had been removed and they were cut up severely. The body was partially frozen in the trunk. And this is really important because remember, the body had been sitting there for days before it was finally impounded and then the body discovered. And it was still the body
frozen.
parts were still partially frozen. So we are told that when the body first went to the medical examiner's office in early September, it was listed as an apparent homicide, but that was just from what seemed obvious, that the body was cut up into pieces.
Right.
The medical examiner is having a really tough time right now trying to figure out what the cause of death was. We are told it is likely the cause of death will go undetermined because of the
ain't no way. How the hell you gonna tell how she died?
And the fact that it was frozen and the fact that it was cut up the way it was.
Yeah.
So we have told you
it's some sick shit
that we know.
And don't no little girl deserve to go to go out like that, bro. I don't give a fuck what's going on. Like that little girl wasn't supposed to go like that, bro.
It is a suspect, and even if it is undetermined, the LAPD can still move forward, as could the LA County District Attorney.
Mm-hmm.
The LAPD is viewing this as a homicide. David is a suspect. We know this.
I'm convinced we dealing with a serial killer here, man.
For sure, boy.
They a serial killer, bro. Think about you and your group of friends. Are y'all capable of this?
Hell no.
Are y'all capable of concealing and dealing with a dead body in this regard?
I'm gonna be honest with you. Could I take somebody's life? Yeah. If I had to. If that person was threatening me or threatening my wife, or if we was in immediate danger, I know I'm capable of violence enough to the point where I could take your life and sleep pretty good at night too. If you was trying to harm me, you know what I'm saying? If you was trying to harm me, or you was call yourself trying to do this, or whatever the case, God forbid, defending myself or defending my child or defending my wife or defending my auntie or whatever the case is, for sure, I think I can get a person up out of here without hesitation and without remorse. Like I would feel bad in the moment, but I wouldn't be like overly fucked up about it for too long. You know what I'm saying? But I don't give a fuck what's going on. I'm not capable of cutting nobody, but I don't even like blood like that. I like, nigga, I can't even get my blood drawn at the motherfucking doctor. I gotta look over here. If I look at that blood, I might pass out. So I can't cut nobody. I don't think everybody watching this video, y'all could probably take somebody's life if you in self-defense. But you ain't cutting nobody up. You ain't cutting nobody motherfucking head off. You know how crazy you gotta be to unalive somebody and then cut their head off? This motherfucker. They cut their legs and their arms up and then put the shit in the freezer and then put it in the body in a bag and bring the bag to... You know how crazy you gotta be? Level over 9,000 crazy, bro. Real deal.